Nepal and India have shared a friendship that goes back decades. During this period, the two nations have shared support for one another, but there were plenty of issues of contention as well. Today, the two countries have signed an agreement for power trade, which has been welcomed by all quarters, but the terms of the trade and the implementation could still be in question for the time being. Good evening, I'm Sayed Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Nepal and India signed long-term energy trade agreement. Nepal to export 10,000 megawatt electricity in 10 years. Private sector enthused. Visiting Indian Minister S. Shankar meets with top leaders of major political parties. Suggests maintaining current coalition. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken to visit Israel as regional tension likely to escalate following the death of Hamas deputy leader in Israeli attack in Beirut. And Cricket Association of Nepal can releases its calendar for 2024, including 34 international tournaments. Men's cricket team to play 3 League 2 series. Nepal and India have locked a long-term agreement for power trade today as energy secretaries from both the sides signed the agreement at the Ministry of Energy, Water Resources and Irrigation. The agreement was signed by Energy Secretary for Nepal Gopal Sigdel and his Indian counterpart Pankaj Agrawal. This has paved way for Nepal to export 10,000 megawatt of electricity to India in the next 10 years. Earlier in June last year, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal had struck an agreement with his Indian counterpart for the same during his 4-day state visit to India. Now that the agreement has been finalized and signed, various agreement and private companies will sign different periodic agreements to buy electricity from Nepal. The private sectors in both the countries are also allowed to import electricity. During the Nepal-India Joint Commission meeting today, foreign ministers of both the countries also inaugurated 3 transmission lines of 132 kVA. The Nepal government has prepared an energy strategy with the aim of producing 28,000 megawatt electricity in the next 12 years. Likewise, the Raxaul, Parwanipur and Kushaha Kataiya transmission line that connect with India's Bihar and Nutanwa Mainahia that connects with Uttar Pradesh have also been inaugurated today. In other agreements, Community Development Project budget has been raised to 200 million rupees from 50 million. India's Minister for External Affairs S. Shankar had arrived Kathmandu this morning with his delegation for the Nepal-India Joint Commission meeting. The private sector has welcomed the long-term agreement for power trade between Nepal and India that has been signed today. However, they say that the government must relax policies to meet the country's target of electricity production. Speaking to Kantipur Television, President of Independent Power Producers Association of Nepal, IPAN, Ganesh Karki said that the government must revise policies in favor of hydropower projects developers in order to meet the target of exporting 10,000 megawatts of electricity within the next 10 years.
र थुप्रै अहिलेका झन्झटिला नियम कानुनमा त गाह्रो हुन्छ किनभने 10 वर्ष भनेको धेरै होइन 10 वर्ष एउटै प्रोजेक्ट बनाउनलाई 5 वर्ष भन्दा बढी लाग्छ त्यसकारणले गर्दा हामीले 10,000 त बेच्नै पर्ने छ खपत गर्नुपर्ने छ त्यसले गर्दाखेरि थुप्रै नीति नियम कानुनहरुमा सम्पूर्ण राजनीतिक दलहरु एक ठाउँमा विकासको लागि एक ठाउँमा उभिएर नीतिगत सुधारहरु गरेर अगाडि बढ्नुपर्छ जस्तो लाग्छ.
Likewise, former board member of the Nepal Electricity Authority as well as energy expert Krishna Prasad Dulal stressed on the need to guarantee market for electricity generated with investment from neighboring India and other countries.
अब तामुकोसी नितान्त नेपालीहरुको नेपाली जनताहरुको लगानीमा बनेको प्रोजेक्ट यसमा कुनै पनि विदेशीको लगानी छैन तर संयोगले ठेकदार कम्पनी चाहिँ एउटा चाइनिज थियो तर त्यहाँ अनेकौं कम्पनी मध्ये भारतीय कम्पनीहरु पनि धेरै थिए. अब यो लेभलको यो दृष्टिकोणले भारतले हाम्रा विद्युत आयोजनाहरूलाई फिल्टर गर्न चाह्यो भने चाहिँ भोलिको दिनमा सहज रूपमा व्यापारका ढोकाहरू खुल्दैन किनभने हामी विश्व व्यापार संगठनको पनि सदस्य छौं. हामीले कसैलाई पनि कुनै पनि ठेकदारलाई बाइकट गर्न सक्दैनौं. ओपन कम्पिटिसनमा जाँदाखेरि चाइनिज पनि आउन सक्छन्, भारतीय पनि आउन सक्छन्।
The government has already prepared energy development plans with a target of generating up to 28,000 megawatts of electricity within the next 12 years. The authority has a target of increasing national consumption to 13,000 megawatt and to sell the remaining 15,000 to neighboring India, among other countries. Time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we had asked, what do you think of a detainee escaping from court premises? 44% voted for A, weaknesses on part of the police. 11% voted for B, security in question. And 45% for C, possibility of a nexus. And here's today's question. What do you think of the Nepal-India power trade agreement? Your options are A, difficult to implement, B, a challenge to raise production, and C, possible with willpower. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Indian Minister for External Affairs S. Shankar, who is on a 2-day state visit to Nepal, has met with top brass leaders of various political parties today. The list of leaders meeting with the visiting Indian minister includes President of Nepali Congress, Sher Bahadur Deuba, CPN Unified Socialist Chair Madhav Kumar Nepal, Janta Samajwadi Chair Upendra Yadav, Loktantrik Samajwadi Party Chair Mahanta Thakur and Janamat Party's Chair C.K. Raut. Likewise, Shankar also met with main opposition CPN UML Chair K.P. Sharma Oli. The meeting with Deuba, Oli and Nepal were held separately, while Shankar held a joint meeting with leaders of Madesh-centered parties. According to Deputy General Secretary of Unified Socialist Jagannath Khatiwada, Shankar advised ruling coalition parties to maintain the current alliance for development and political stability. According to leaders attending the meeting with leaders of the ruling alliance, Indian ambassador to Nepal, Navin Srivastav, raised the issue of CPN UML seeking for share of seats at the National Assembly. According to Janamat Party Chair Raut, during the meeting with Madesh-centered parties, Shankar suggested the parties to show solidarity in issues of development and of the Madesh region. According to leader Rajan Bhattrai, during the meeting with CPN UML Chair Oli, Shankar said that India was always ready to support Nepal with its efforts for political stability and development, while Oli had suggested the visiting minister to ensure the implementation of previous agreements signed between the two countries. Earlier in the day, Shankar had met with President Ramchandra Paudel and Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal at their respective offices. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. The ruling alliance seems prepared to share 6 seats from the National Assembly with main opposition CPN UML, but with a condition. The coalition is ready to share the seat if the main opposition supports it with the Transitional Justice Bill, which is in consideration at the Law Committee of the Parliament. The meeting held today at Prime Minister's official residence in Balwatar had dwelt on the possibility of joining hands with the opposition party as the National Assembly election nears. Meanwhile, CPN UML has claimed it has not sought for share in the upper house election despite holding discussion for collaboration. UML Deputy General Secretary Pradeep Gewali clarified that inter-party discussions were natural and that his party did not demand for its share. In this context, in our Public Voice segment, today we have asked in several provinces whether it is a democratic practice for the ruling alliance and the main opposition making a deal for power share prior to the National Assembly election. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
लोकतन्त्रलाई गिज्याउने काम गरिएको छ। एउटा व्यक्तिवादी सिद्धान्त र टिके प्रवृत्तिमा अडिग रहेर काम गरिएको छ।
राष्ट्रिय सभाको निर्वाचन अगाडि नै जुन भागभण्डाको कुराहरू आइरहेको छ, यो एकदमै अलोकतान्त्रिक गतिविधि भइरहेको छ।
लोकतान्त्रिक विधि प्रयोग गर्नुपर्ने ठाउँमा सबैजना दलहरू चाहिँ आफ्नो चाहिँ यति भाग भनेर भागभण्डा लगाएको चाहिँ एकदमै यो दुःखद कुरो हो।
यसरी भागभण्डा हुने हो भने त निर्वाचन गर्नुको के अर्थ र निर्वाचनमा कुनै अर्थ पनि रहँदैन।
सरकारलाई हामीले चलाउनको लागि त सबैको सहकार्य र सबैको मेलोमटोमा गर्दाखेरि नै अब राम्रो हुन्छ भन्ने लाग्छ मलाई।
प्रतिपक्ष बिनाको चाहिँ पार्टी कायम गरेर चाहिँ सबैले भागभण्डा लिएर कुनै चाहिँ पद चाहिँ पाउने कुरा चाहिँ लोकतन्त्र चाहिँ विरोधी चाहिँ कार्य हो।
चुनावमै चाहिँ भागभण्डा गरेर जाने चाहिँ यो शैली हुन सकेन।
सत्ता गठबन्धन छ, त्यसमा चाहिँ कुनै पनि सिट माग्नु हामीलाई पनि दिनु भनेर गएको अवस्था हो भने त्यो लोकतान्त्रिक पद्धति पनि भएन।
गठबन्धन गर्नु चाहिँ यो नराम्रो हो, यो त्यति लोकतान्त्रिक होइन।
शर्त राखेर एक आपसमा भागभण्डा गरेर पद बाँड्नु भनेको चाहिँ लोकतन्त्रको उपहास गर्नु हो।
यो खाली दलहरूको गर्नलाई भागभण्डा मिलाउनलाई मात्रै यो स्वार्थको खेल हो।
लोकतान्त्रिक पद्धतिमा यस्तो भागभण्डा हुनु हुँदैन।
यो चाहिँ एकदम गलत छ। यो चाहिँ निर्वाचित प्रक्रियाबाट छनौट हुनुपर्छ।
सम्पूर्ण सत्ताधारी नेताहरूले चाहिँ भागभण्डा गरेर खानु कदापि उचित हुँदैन।
तमाम नेपाली जनताले पनि यो मान्ने हुने खालको चाहिँ मलाई चाहिँ लाग्दैन।
राष्ट्रिय सभा निर्वाचनमा पनि साँठगाँठ गर्ने, स्थानीय तहको निर्वाचनमा साँठगाँठ गर्ने, कहीँ न कहीँ यो एउटा घृणित राजनीतिको
Time now for international update. Gaza's Ministry of Health has said 125 people have been killed and 318 injured in the past 24 hours in Israeli airstrikes. At least 14 people have been killed and a number of people injured in an Israeli bombing of a house belonging to the Salah family west of Khan Yunis. Elsewhere, 9 Hezbollah members were killed in Israeli strikes amid Lebanese border clashes. Hezbollah leader Nasrallah has said his fighters are not afraid of war but avoided any declaration that his forces would escalate attacks after killing of Saleh al-Aruri. At least 22,438 people have been killed and 57,614 wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. The revised death toll from the October 7 attack on Israel stands at 1,139. Israeli embassies around the world have been reportedly put on alert following the Tuesday assassination of Hamas deputy chief Saleh al-Aruri in Lebanon. The Israeli public broadcaster KAN said Air Force and forces stationed on the border with Lebanon were also asked to increase vigilance amid retaliation threats by Hamas and Hezbollah. Meanwhile, political and war analysts say Hamas leader Saleh al-Aruri assassination in Lebanon has opened Pandora's box. In another context, the coalition of Israeli lawmakers is trying to hamstring the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, claiming it is a tool of Hamas. UNRWA is the largest aid agency operating in the besieged Gaza Strip, where an estimated 1.9 million displaced Palestinians are in desperate need of food, shelter, and medicine. The U.S. Secretary of State is scheduled for another visit to the region, including a stop in Israel. This will be his fourth tour of the Middle East since the Gaza war broke out, as the U.S. struggles to balance a string of Arab alliances angered by Washington's all-out backing of Israel during the conflict. And it's time now for another short break. We'll be right back.
Sports news.
The Cricket Association of Nepal (CAN) has published its calendar for 2024, including 34 international tournaments. The men's national cricket team are to play 3 League 2 series in 2024. The calendar includes all national and international events that the national team will participate in between January 2024 to December 31st. The men's cricket team will begin its League 2 series participation from home ground, as the Nepal, Namibia and the Netherlands series will begin on Friday, in fact February 17th. Before the series, Nepal will play 3 ODIs with Canada between February 10 to 14. 2 of the 3 League 2 series will be played away from home. In September, Nepal will participate in League 2 series with Canada in their home ground, along with Namibia. In October, the national cricket team will leave for US to play with the host and Scotland. Likewise, Nepal will play a bilateral series with each of the 2 League 2 participants ahead of the League 2 series. Nepal will play 7 ODIs with Canada in 2024. CAN will also organize the franchise Nepal T20 League between November-December later this year. The association will solely organize the league, which is also its main revenue source. The association had contracted an Indian company for the first edition of the league, which was engulfed in controversy. The Cricket Association of Nepal CAN is to organize the Nepal T20 League itself after the first edition of the league, which was organized by an Indian company, caught controversy for match fixing and players' salary issues. Releasing the calendar for 2024, CAN informed the media that it will organize the league this year itself. The association's secretary, Paras Khadka, said the league was one of the major revenue sources for the entity. In its first edition, held between 24 December 2022 to 11 January 2023, the association had partnered with India's 7-3 Sports for organizing the event. Players had shared grievances of not receiving their payments and of being offered for match fixing. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.